Hi there, I'm Drew Badger, the world's #1 English fluency guide, and it is a pleasure to welcome you to the series on YouTube where we just help you express yourself more fluently like a native English speaker. Well, today this is another requested video. People were asking about measurements and charts and other things like that. So since people do often give presentations, I wanted to give just a basic example in basic, intermediate, and more advanced English about how to describe a simple chart or a simple graph. In this case, we're going to look at I guess it's a pie chart. So there are lots of different ways of expressing information. You can have a bar graph where you've got those kind of long rectangles that talk about this percentage of people or this number of people. Or you can have a pie chart where you're looking at a whole and what percentage of people are, achieving something or doing something or whatever that happens to be. So this is just a image that I took right from the internet, so hopefully it's interesting for you, but this is just the percentage of kind of pet that people have in general. So we're going to look at a simple pie chart and we'll describe it in basic, intermediate, and more advanced English. So as we're looking at this pie chart here, we can see that 55% of people have dogs, and 30% of people have cats, 6% of people have fish, 5% of people have, I believe it's rabbits, and then, 4% of people have rodents. Now, a rodent is anything, actually a rabbit is in the rodent family, but this just means things like mice or rats or hamsters, anything that's got big teeth like that. So in a basic way, I'm just describing what the percentages of things are. And maybe I'm not giving so much interesting information. I'm just giving you the information you can read by yourself. Now, this is typically what things are in basic English. We're just giving a direct explanation about something that really you could just read by looking at the chart. Now, in a more intermediate way, we can talk about the relationships between these two things. So we could say many more people have dogs than have rodents. So I'm talking about, again, not like just saying, 6% of people have fish or 30% of people have cats. I'm talking about a relationship between the two. So in a more intermediate way, I could say, well, many people or a majority of people have dogs. So of the people that have pets, so I'm talking about the whole group of the people that have pets, a majority have dogs. So a majority just means more than 50%. So it could be 51%. Or in this case, since we're not just comparing two things, it's really like a large majority because most of the people that have pets, they have a dog, as opposed to, having something like a cat or a fish or a bird or something. So that's a way of describing it in an intermediate way. But now if we want to talk about the same chart or the same pie chart in a more advanced way, we can just, again, we're trying to give more interesting information, maybe provide some stories for that, try to give some reasons why we're seeing the data that we're seeing. And so we'll do that in a more advanced way. So looking at this pie chart here, we can see that a majority of people, maybe not a vast majority, so it's not 70 or 80% of pet owners are dog owners, but a majority of people, 55% of people that own pets have a dog. Now, it's interesting that more people would like a dog than a cat. And so this graph demonstrates that, or it shows that more people are maybe dog lovers than cat lovers. And it's interesting to think about why that might be. So we don't want to just look at the data. We want to maybe draw some conclusions or create a few hypotheses about that. So maybe some reasons why something like that might happen. So maybe, the history of dogs. Dogs have been living with us for a really long time, and humans have had maybe just a much closer relationship with dogs, and we bring dogs into the house. But cats maybe they live with us, but they're not like man's best friend like we would describe a dog. So we can see like this graph here, it would give us an example of, well, I guess it makes sense that dogs are maybe more numerous. So more numerous, meaning there are more of them for people that own pets than there are for people that own cats or rodents or rabbits or fish. So people that like fish is a small fraction of total pet owners. So if we want, again, we're moving from dog owners to maybe someone that has a rodent like a hamster or a rat or a mouse, or someone that has a fish. So a tiny fraction of people, so a fraction just means a small percentage. You can have a large fraction, so a big fraction of people have dogs, but a tiny fraction, and typically when we use the word fraction, we're talking about a small thing, even though fraction just means a piece of something. But a tiny fraction of people have rodents. So, and of that, maybe that's even a smaller percentage that has a hamster. So maybe hamsters are only 1% of pet owners. Actually, I had a hamster, or actually I had a few hamsters when I was younger. I never had any rats or mice, but I had a few different kinds of hamsters when I was younger. So again, in the native way, we're trying to not only explain the information, but explain why maybe it's happening. We can explain the research that we did or how we did that, or talking to the owners of these pets and trying to figure out how we got more information about that. But then we can also inject our own personal information, whatever that happens to be. In my case, I had a hamster. I never owned a dog. I did own fish. Actually, I had both freshwater and saltwater fish. But again, these are just information or pieces of information we're having to make the chart more interesting. Because if you just look at a circle chart, maybe you can say, okay, more people preferred cats or more people preferred cats than rodents, but we don't really understand why so much. So going into the details about why something might happen, this is where you illuminate. So to illuminate means to shed light. So to make more brightness, to make something more clear and easy to see, to illuminate why something happens, especially if you're giving a presentation about something. So going deeper into the data to explain why something happens, this is going to be much more important for a presentation. Well, if this has been helpful, do like this video. Let me know in the comments below if you'd like to know more about this, or if there's particular maybe business situations or other situations in your daily life where you have to explain something and maybe you have trouble doing that. So I'd like to make more videos where I can try to help people explain things as a native speaker would. Anyway, have a fantastic day. Do again like this video, become a subscriber to the YouTube channel if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye. To continue learning, click on the link in this video to download Speak English Naturally, our free guide to speaking and sounding like a native English speaker. The guide reveals the 3 most important kinds of conversational English you must learn if you want to sound native, and will help you experience instant improvement in your fluency and speaking confidence. To download your free guide on a mobile device, click on the link in the upper right of this video. To download your free guide from a computer, click on the link in the lower right of this video. I look forward to seeing you in the guide.